Hi viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about our favorite mythical animals or creatures and what is the history behind them. And today I also have a little bonus topic to throw in there for you because it's just something that's on my mind that just came up. So without further ado, roll the intro. My favorite mythical creatures, being, animal, I have a few, but my favorite I think has always been unicorns. I don't think I know anything about the actual history of unicorns, like how they supposedly came to be or anything like that, but I know a pretty amusing story. It sort of depends on the fact that you need to accept the Noah's Ark story, at least. God told Noah to build an ark and put two of every animal on it, that the world has, so that after the flood they can continue having children and repopulate the earth. The story goes that the unicorn was too headstrong and boastful and kind of a braggart to get on the ark, and the unicorns all thought, "We don't need your ark, man. We don't need some boat. We can swim. We will swim for 40 days and 40 nights through the flood." Apparently my unicorn is from the hood. I apologize. But anyway, they were like, "We don't need some stinking boat. We can swim. Just go on without us, Noah. Thanks for thinking of us, but we're fine, I promise." But unfortunately, the unicorns failed. They completely overestimated their strength and thought that they could swim the entire flood, but they could not, and they all drowned. And that is why unicorns are extinct today. At least that's the story that I've always heard told, and I really like that story. The only thing that I really know about unicorns is that according to legend, a virgin waiting for them under a tree will attract them, but anyone else cannot attract a unicorn to them. Let's just say, as a little girl, for a while, I used to sit under trees a lot. One of my favorite book series of all time, pretty much since I was a little kid, and still to this day, I name Unicorns of Balinor by Mary Stanton as my favorite book series. And I also really like the Into the Land of Unicorns series by Bruce Coville, mostly because the main character's name is Cara, and he may have intended it to be Cara, but I call it Cara because, I mean, hey. And she also doesn't know her father. My father is definitely not a unicorn hunter, though, but yeah, I just thought it was cool little connection, so I've always liked those. I also really like dragons and fairies. I would say those are my number 2 and number 3. When I was in middle school, there was an RPG somewhere online, like a discussion board type roleplay game where you could create characters, and there was an associated link with it where you could adopt a dragon. You put in their name and you got this little birth certificate for the day that you adopted them. And, well, I guess it was an adoption certificate then, not a birth certificate, but they were all babies. And you got this little picture of them, and you could print them out and color them. And I used to write, basically like a fan fiction, I used to write stories about me and all of the dragons that I had adopted. And I had 8 of them, and my first baby was a western dragon named Windsong. And I had a fairy dragon named Ariana, who was named after Ariana from Unicorns of Balinor. Aurora and Rhea were the tiny little dragon twins. I had a Chinese dragon named Lung. I think that's how you pronounce it, L-I-U-N-G, because it means water. It's a traditional water dragon thing. I think that's what it means. It's been a while. And my little brother adopted 2 dragons that I ended up naming for him and adding to my stories, and their names were Trask and Carrie. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was something that I did like every day for a very long time. I had this whole documents and documents on my computer of these stories about us, and I go back and I look for them now because I want to reread them, and they're not on my computer, so they must have been deleted when I switched to a laptop, which is sad. I guess that was more about my history with my favorite mythical creatures, not its history, but I'm hoping someone else will cover dragons, because dragons are pretty popular, right? Anyway, I want to make this a quick video. I was going to do more research on the actual history of unicorns to see if there was anything that I could share. Go to Google, it'll tell you the exact same thing I would have said. While I was on the computer going to do this research, and I'm going to make a video about this on my personal channel, but since I'm making this one now, I want to tell you guys about it. Go look on my channel later on for this video. I got a message from someone on YouTube who asked me the other day if I was a witch and if I could give them a spell to make them become a vampire. I've done a couple videos on vampires, modern vampires, people today, real human beings who exhibit characteristics of vampires, and therefore we call them vampires. I'm not sure if the person who asked knows that I have done some research on vampires, but whether or not, so they asked me, as a witch, can I give them a spell? And I was very confused by this, and I explained that's not really how it works. You can't really become a vampire if you're not one. At the most, a meditation to do like a discovery to help you find out if that really is within you, but it won't make you a vampire if you aren't one. So I went to their channel and I noticed that some of the recent, on the side, the recent comments that they put were on vampire spell videos. And I said, oh goodness gracious, people have posted videos on YouTube with spells telling people how they can become a vampire, and that's why I'm getting this question. And I was like, oh, here we go. So I checked out this one video, and this channel is two girls who just post videos on spells of how to become things like werewolves, vampires, and they claim to be mermaids. And at first I thought it was like how some people have a magical self or like a magical personality, and their magical self might be an elf, or their magical self might be a fairy. I know people who believe that and feel that way. And so I thought that's what they meant, but they are claiming that this spell actually gives them a tail when they touch water and things like that. And there are all these kids on their channel believing that what they are telling them is how to do real magic. And these kids are believing that this is how it works, and it pains me that I cannot reach all of these kids and tell them there's a lot more to magic than just saying some words that rhyme. Sure, it's helpful if it rhymes, but you know what I mean? It frustrates me. And I'm going to make a video on it on my personal channel, so please check that out. My channel, later, I will post that, or you can comment on it here, but I won't see these comments as soon. I will see the ones on my channel. Sorry this was short, and most of it was not even about this week's topic, but I just wanted to bring that up. So I'm going to go upload this video right now, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching, and blessed be.